When discussing ancient Greece, one might reflect on its historical conflicts, legendary figures, esteemed philosophers, and remarkable architecture that continues to influence modern design. The classic city-states of Athens and Sparta often come to mind. Yet the ancient Greek world was characterized by a diverse array of civilizations that emerged from the Greek Dark Ages, spanning the 12th to 9th centuries BC until the conclusion of antiquity. It is important to recognize that ancient Greece was not a singular nation. Rather, it comprised numerous city-states, each governed independently and developing its unique identity. While there were alliances, treaties, and trade among these states, rivalries and hostilities were also prevalent, particularly between Athens and Sparta. The classical period, which lasted approximately 2 centuries during the 5th and 4th centuries BC, is primarily examined through the lens of Athenian contributions, as this city-state produced a wealth of narratives, plays, and other literary works that have survived the ages. This era was marked by significant conflicts that have left an indelible mark on history, including the subjugation of various Greek city-states. During this time, the formidable Persian Empire posed a significant threat to the ancient Greek civilization, expanding its dominion across vast territories from Bactria to the Arabian Sea, and encompassing regions such as Lydia, Babylon, and Egypt. The Persian military prowess created a looming danger for mainland Greece, which also served as a catalyst for various responses among the Greek city-states. City-states united to confront a shared adversary, allowing us to perceive the entirety of the Greek world as a cohesive entity. This marked the onset of the Ionian Revolt in 500 BCE, an event that triggered the Persian invasion in 492 BCE. The Persians faced defeat in 490 BCE, and their subsequent attempt from 481 to 479 BCE also ended in failure. Despite their advance through mainland Greece, they were ultimately vanquished at critical junctures. The renowned battles of Thermopylae and Artemisium significantly altered the trajectory of history for the ancient Greeks. The Persian efforts to subjugate Greece spanned over 2 decades. Although the Persian forces were formidable, the Greeks' military innovation, strategic acumen, and valor led to their repulsion, particularly at the Thermopylae Pass. King Leonidas of Sparta, alongside his 300 warriors and support from other Greek allies, valiantly resisted the Persian army for 3 days. This narrative transcends a singular historical moment, illustrating the Spartan ethos exemplified in this iconic battle. Spartans dedicated themselves to their state and military service from a young age. Boys commenced their education and military training at 7, reportedly living in barracks and undergoing rigorous training even during peacetime. Subsequently, the Delian League emerged under Athenian leadership, which, while enhancing Athenian power, also instigated direct conflicts with Sparta. The Peloponnesian War erupted in 431 BCE, and after a brief period of peace, hostilities resumed, ultimately favoring Sparta. Athens was defeated in 404 BCE, establishing Sparta as the preeminent power in the Greek world. The Peloponnesian War established Sparta as the preeminent power in Greece. However, the limited perspective of the Spartan warrior elite proved ill-suited for this leadership role. In 395 BC, the Spartan authorities dismissed Lysander from his position, resulting in the loss of their naval dominance. Subsequently, Athens, Argos, Thebes, and Corinth, 2 of which were former allies of Sparta, challenged its supremacy during the inconclusive Corinthian War. which concluded in 387 BC. This conflict highlighted a significant shift occurring within Greece, while Athens and Sparta exhausted themselves in mutual combat. Thebes was ascending to a position of prominence among the Greek city-states. That same year, Sparta signed the Treaty of Alcides with Persia, which ceded control of the Greek cities of Ionia and Cyprus, effectively reversing a century of Greek victories over Persia. Sparta then sought to diminish Thebes' power, leading to a conflict in which Thebes allied with its former adversary, Athens. In 378 BC, the Spartan grip on Thebes was ultimately challenged by a popular uprising within the city. To comprehend these events fully, it is essential to recognize Sparta's military prowess. From its inception, Sparta was governed by a dual kingship, with two kings ruling simultaneously throughout its history. This dual monarchy was hereditary, belonging to the Aegean and Europantid dynasties. According to legend, these dynasties descended from the twin offspring of Hercules, who was said to have conquered Sparta 2 generations after the Trojan War. Life as a Spartan was characterized by privilege. The young Spartan male did not enter life with ease. He was presented before a council of elders who scrutinized him for any physical deformities. Should he fail to meet their standards, he would be taken to a nearby gorge and left to perish from exposure. At the age of 7, a boy who had passed this initial assessment was separated from his mother to commence his formal education. Any act of disobedience or display of fear in battle could lead to his expulsion from the ranks. There existed several lower castes of individuals whose ancestors had fallen from the elite status, each labeled with derogatory terms such as inferiors or tremblers. Following the defeat of Athens in 404 BC, Sparta engaged in the formation and dissolution of alliances at will, leading to various repercussions. Some Spartans, enjoying favorable relations, partook in reckless, greedy, or opportunistic military endeavors, often in violation of treaty obligations and traditional Greek ethics. Their governments and officials frequently overlooked these detrimental behaviors. As a result, Sparta's popularity began to wane. Other Greek states, whether former allies or adversaries, grew increasingly discontent with Spartan dominance, ultimately leading to the establishment of a new anti-Spartan coalition. Despite their efforts to uphold their supremacy in the Greek world through military strength, the Spartans faced rising casualties, which they could ill afford. The expensive victories on each battlefield resulted in a diminished number of warriors available to confront Sparta's adversaries. Furthermore, it became increasingly uncertain whether Sparta's complete supremacy in traditional hoplite warfare would endure indefinitely. In 390 BC, the Spartans were taken aback by the defeat of a solitary Spartan regiment, which resulted in the loss of approximately 250 men. Concurrently, Sparta's foes were progressively acquiring knowledge about its military strategies. Following the events of 378 BC, the response to Spartan dominance over Thebes was marked by a popular revolt within the city. The Theban army underwent reorganization and commenced liberating towns from Spartan garrisons. Theban General Pelopidas achieved a significant victory against a considerably larger Spartan force in 375 BC. The rapid rise of Theban authority led to growing distrust from Athens, which sought to re-establish its influence through the creation of a second Athenian League. In 371 BC, the Theban army, commanded by Epaminondas, dealt a devastating blow to Spartan forces at the Battle of Leuctra, resulting in the loss of a substantial portion of Sparta's army, including 400 of its 2,000 citizen soldiers This victory by Epaminondas marked the end of a long-standing era of Spartan military prestige and dominance in Greece. The decisive defeat of the Spartan hoplite army by Theban forces at the Battle of Leuctra in 371 BC signified the conclusion of a significant chapter in Greek military history and permanently transformed the balance of power in Greece. As the established certainties of the 5th century Golden Age began to unravel, the image of Spartan military invincibility, though challenged and ultimately overthrown, had remained a steadfast bastion until this point. The mere sight and sound of an advancing line of Spartan soldiers had historically been sufficient to instill fear in their adversaries, often before any actual combat ensued. A closer examination of Sparta's history as a military society reveals that the collapse at Leuctra becomes more comprehensible. By the time they faced the Thebans, Sparta had been grappling with significant internal issues for some time, making it only a matter of time before an adversary would exploit Sparta's deep-seated vulnerabilities. The narrative of Sparta's decline serves as a poignant lesson on the intricate connection between social structure and military strength. At the height of its success, representing the ideal of the Greek hoplite republic, Sparta ultimately found itself unable to muster enough hoplite warriors to avert military catastrophe. Although Sparta never fully recuperated from its defeats, it managed to persist as a regional power for over 2 centuries, even forming alliances with the Romans. Under Roman governance, it became a free city and a favored destination for the Roman elite. However, in 396 AD, it was ultimately sacked by the Visigoths. We extend our heartfelt thanks for watching this video and wish to express our appreciation to our few generous supporters on Patreon. You can also support our channel by clicking the link in the description. Additionally, please remember to subscribe and activate the notification bell to receive updates on more animated history videos.
We want to thank you so much.